Hi, let us today discuss about the abdominal aorta. Abdominal aorta is the largest artery of the abdomen, which begins as a continuation of descending thoracic aorta at the level of T12 after the aorta crossing the aortic opening of the diaphragm. At the level of T12, till the level of T12, it is descending thoracic aorta followed by abdominal aorta. This abdominal aorta descends downwards in front of the vertebral column, extending along the L1, L2, L3, L4 vertebra, and on reaching the L4 level, it divides into two common iliac arteries. This was the common iliac arteries. Right common iliac artery, and this is right common iliac, and this is left common iliac artery. Each common iliac artery divides into external iliac artery and internal iliac artery. This external iliac artery continues as femoral artery, and internal iliac artery divides into two divisions and gives numerous branches and supplies the region of the pelvis and perineum. Coming to the abdominal aorta proper, this abdominal aorta, it extends from the T12 to L4. It is situated to the left of the inferior vena cava, in front of L1 to L4 vertebra, and consists of ventral branches. It consists of ventral branches, dorsal branches, lateral branches, and terminal branches. It consists of ventral branches, dorsal branches, lateral branches, and terminal branches. The ventral branches arising from the ventral aspect of the abdominal aorta are celiac trunk, arising at the level of T12, immediately below the aortic opening of the diaphragm, and is an artery of foregut. It is an artery of the foregut. Second artery is superior mesenteric artery, which is an artery of midgut. It arises at the level of L1, coinciding with the transpyloric plane. And the third one is inferior mesenteric artery, which is the artery of hindgut, arising at the level of L3, slightly to the left of the median plane. So these three are the ventral branches. Celiac trunk is the artery of foregut, superior mesenteric artery is artery of midgut, and inferior mesenteric artery is artery of hindgut. This is arising at the level of T12, this is arising at the level of L1, and this is arising at the level of L3. Okay. Coming to the dorsal branches. Dorsal branches are four pairs of lumbar arteries. This is first pair of lumbar artery. This is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Left four pair of lumbar arteries, and this one is the right lumbar artery. Slide 1, 2, 3, and 4. They arise from the dorsal aspect and extends laterally. So on the left side, 4 lumbar arteries. On the right side, 1, 2, 3, and 4 lumbar arteries. These are the dorsal branch, along with, in its lower part, close to its termination from the dorsal aspect, a branch extends that is called as medial sacral artery, which is said as a primitive continuation of fused dorsal aorta. So this is a medial sacral artery, representing the fused dorsal aorta extending from the lower part of the dorsal side and extending downwards as a single artery, which is the median sacral artery. Next, coming to its lateral branches. Lateral branches are again 4 in number. First one, this is inferior phrenic artery. This one is inferior phrenic artery, which is said to be the first branch of abdominal aorta, arising just above the celiac trunk, supplying the diaphragm from its undersurface. So these are the two inferior phrenic arteries. Next we have this one, which is middle suprarenal artery. On either sides, middle suprarenal artery. Next we have a paired renal arteries. These are the renal arteries. Left renal artery, and this one is the right renal artery. This one is the right renal artery. And the last one is this one, left gonadal artery, and similarly this one, right gonadal artery. That means in case of males it is left and right testicular artery. In case of female it is left and right ovarian artery. And the last branches are the terminal branches. These are the two terminal arteries branches, that is the right and left common iliac arteries, right common iliac artery and left common iliac artery. Each one divides into internal iliac artery and external iliac artery. This is left side left internal iliac artery, and this is right sided internal iliac and external iliac. This is left sided external iliac and internal iliac artery. As you know, the external iliac artery continues as femoral artery, and the internal iliac artery divides into two divisions, and through the two divisions many branches arises, supplies perineum and pelvis and other regions. Coming to the description of the branches of the abdominal aorta, let us start with the celiac trunk. This is the celiac trunk, which is arising at the level of T12 from the ventral aspect of the abdominal aorta. It gives off, celiac trunk gives off a branch here which is called as, this is left gastric artery. This is a left gastric artery, which in turn is giving an esophageal branch. This is an esophageal branch of left gastric artery, and this is a left gastric artery. We have another branch from the celiac trunk, which is the tortuous splenic artery. Tortuous splenic artery. This splenic artery gives off short gastric artery. These are the short gastric arteries, and left gastroepiploic artery. Left gastroepiploic artery. Is it clear? This is left gastroepiploic artery. Okay. It also gives from its posterior aspect posterior gastric arteries. These are the posterior gastric arteries. And from its ventral aspect, few pancreatic branches. These are the pancreatic branches. So overall, the second branch of celiac trunk, I can say, is the tortuous splenic artery. This splenic artery is giving off short gastric arteries, left gastroepiploic arteries, posterior gastric arteries, and pancreatic branches. And the third branch of celiac trunk is common hepatic artery or hepatic artery proper. This is common hepatic artery or hepatic artery proper, which gives off right gastric artery, which anastomoses with the left gastric artery. This is right gastric artery which anastomoses with the left gastric artery. And at the end it gives off right and left hepatic artery. This is right hepatic artery and left hepatic artery, and this right hepatic artery will give rise to a branch called cystic artery. Cystic artery. This cystic artery may arise, normally should arise from the right hepatic artery, but sometimes may arise from the trunk of the common hepatic artery. And the other branch is gastroduodenal artery. Gastroduodenal artery, which gives off the superior pancreatico-duodenal arteries, which gives off superior pancreatico, these are the superior pancreatico-duodenal arteries, and right gastroepiploic artery. This is gastroduodenal artery, which is giving off two branches. Number one, this one is the superior pancreatico-duodenal artery, and this one is the right gastroepiploic artery. This right gastroepiploic artery anastomoses with left gastroepiploic artery within the layers of the greater omentum. Similarly, this left gastric artery anastomoses with the right gastric artery within the layers of the lesser omentum. This anastomosis occurs in the greater omentum, and this one occurs within the layers of the lesser omentum along the lesser curvature of stomach, along the greater curvature of the stomach. So this is all about the branching pattern of celiac trunk. Again I repeat, celiac trunk gives off three main branches. This is left gastric artery, which is present along the lesser curvature of the stomach and giving a branch called esophageal branch. This is the splenic artery, which is tortuous and giving off few branches like short gastric arteries, left gastroepiploic artery, posterior gastric arteries, and pancreatic branches. And the third branch is common hepatic artery, which immediately gives off right gastric artery, which anastomoses with left gastric artery along the lesser curvature of the stomach. It also gives off gastroduodenal artery that divides into superior pancreatico-duodenal artery and right gastroepiploic artery, which anastomoses with the left gastroepiploic artery along the greater curvature of the stomach. And the third one, the terminal end of this common hepatic artery, this is a common hepatic artery or hepatic artery proper, gives off two branches, that is right and left hepatic arteries. From the right hepatic artery, usually cystic artery is arising. So this is all about the celiac trunk. Now coming to the superior mesenteric artery, this is superior mesenteric artery or superior mesenteric artery, which is arising at the level of L1, coinciding with the transpyloric plane. This superior mesenteric artery descends downwards and to the right. This is the artery. Okay, so this is the artery, and the branches given by the superior epigastric artery are inferior pancreatico-duodenal artery. This is inferior pancreatico-duodenal arteries. So this is superior pancreatico-duodenal artery. This is inferior pancreatico-duodenal arteries, and their branches anastomose with each other along the margins of the duodenum. So this is inferior pancreatico-duodenal artery. The other branches of superior mesenteric artery are middle colic artery, which immediately gives off a left branch and a right branch. Okay, so this is middle colic artery, giving off right branch and left branch going to the left, right branch going to the right. Next branch is right colic artery. This is right colic artery, which divides into ascending branch and descending branch. Ascending branch anastomose with right branch of middle colic artery, and the descending branch will anastomose with inferior colic artery, with the ascending branch of inferior colic artery. Right colic artery gives off an ascending branch and descending branch. Ascending branch anastomoses with right branch of middle colic artery, and the descending branch anastomoses with ascending branch of next branch, which is ileocolic artery, which is the ileocolic artery. This ileocolic artery anastomoses, the ascending branch anastomoses with the descending branch of right colic artery, and the descending branch anastomoses with the trunk of superior mesenteric artery itself. And from this anastomosis there arises three branches: anterior cecal artery, posterior cecal artery, and appendicular artery. So from the inferior branch of ileocolic artery, which is anastomosing with the trunk of superior mesenteric artery, three branches arise. Number one, anterior cecal artery; number two, posterior cecal artery; and number three, appendicular artery. These two are supplying the anterior and posterior aspect of cecum, and this one is supplying the appendix. This is all about the superior mesenteric artery. Now coming to the inferior mesenteric artery. This is inferior mesenteric artery. It is slightly to the left of the superior mesenteric artery. So I am drawing it bit left here. This inferior mesenteric artery gives off left colic artery. This is a left colic artery. First branch is left colic artery, which divides into ascending branch and descending branch. This ascending branch anastomoses with the left branch of middle colic artery of superior mesenteric artery, and the descending branch is this one. Next, the inferior mesenteric artery, next branches are 2 or 3 sigmoid branches. This is first sigmoid branch, this is second sigmoid branch, and putting third, it may be 2 or 3 sigmoidal branches, and each branch gives off, these are the 3 sigmoidal branches, which gives off an ascending branch and descending branch. Ascending branch of first sigmoidal artery anastomoses with the descending branch of left colic artery, and similarly the ascending branch of second sigmoidal artery anastomoses with the descending branch of first, and the descending branch of second sigmoidal artery anastomoses with the ascending branch of third, likewise. And finally this sigmoidal inferior mesenteric artery continues downwards as superior rectal artery. It continues downwards as superior rectal artery, and a recurrent branch from this arises, which anastomoses with the descending branch of last sigmoidal artery, and this point of anastomosis is very critical point, we can say, which is considered as critical point of Sudeck. Okay, so inferior mesenteric artery, first branch is left colic artery, which divides into ascending branch and descending branch. Ascending branch anastomosing with the left branch of middle colic artery of superior mesenteric artery. Then we have 2 or 3 sigmoidal arteries, which divides into ascending and descending branches. Each the ascending branch and descending branches anastomosing with successive ones, as said earlier. And finally the last descending branch of the last sigmoidal artery anastomoses with a recurrent branch arising from the superior rectal artery, which is a continuation of the inferior mesenteric artery. And this point of anastomosis is considered as a critical point of Sudeck. Now coming to the this is internal iliac artery of either sides. Internal iliac artery is a branch of common iliac artery. From the internal iliac artery, we get middle rectal artery. These are the two. This is superior rectal artery, which is a continuation of inferior mesenteric artery, whereas middle rectal arteries are the branches of internal iliac artery of either sides. And this internal iliac artery gives off an important branch called internal pudendal artery. These two are the corresponding sided internal pudendal artery, and from the internal pudendal arteries arises the inferior rectal arteries. So the superior rectal artery is a continuation of inferior mesenteric artery. Middle rectal artery is a branch of internal iliac artery. Inferior rectal artery is a branch of internal pudendal artery, and this internal pudendal artery is a branch of internal iliac artery itself. This is overall the branching pattern of the abdominal aorta. Thank you.